Studio Blake. That's what I'm going to call him. Coming in at what, 5'11"?
On a
6
good day.
on a good day.
If I'd ever had a Tinder profile, it would have said 6 feet for sure. You always got to round up.
Round up. We've got the former cello player, former firm owner, 1/8 accountant, full CPA,
Full CPA.
second zero user in America.
Second zero certified bookkeeper in America.
We've got Blake Oliver
in the
here
United States. Thank you.
with
Thank
the
you.
Sons of CPAs, sons and daughters today. The Sons of CPAs powered by Relay. Our bank account is with Relay, and it's been going smashingly well so far. One of Nicole's favorite partners in her firm. Oh, by the way, we have Nicole here. Nix.
Hi, Nicole.
Hi. Nice to see you, Blake.
Good to see you too, as always.
Me and Nix have been recording separate bonus episodes of Sons of CPAs called Nix Tips, where we share a bit of useful piece of practical advice as it relates to running a professional firm. Nicole McKenzie.
Yeah, Scott got me this microphone, and I had to get these earmuffs here. Out of
I can hear you
pocket,
pretty good.
but I'll get reimbursed when the episodes start taking off. We start
Yeah,
generating
when these
ad
episodes start
revenue.
taking off, you're gonna pay for Nicole's new airplane headphones that she uses for potting.
I love it.
Oh, Podster now.
This is the future of banking sponsor, Relay. Relay, your push to talk app. Is that?
Oh yeah, you listened to that bit on the Cloud Accounting podcast.
I did. I definitely did.
It had to have been a mistake. They had that article.
Absolutely.
For those who don't happen to listen to both of these shows in their entirety, we should probably explain the context of this, where David, Leary, and I were talking about on the Cloud Accounting podcast this article that popped up on Accounting Today, and it listed out the top 14 apps that are hot right now, and one of them was Relay. I was excited because I'm now working with Relay, but the description was for some sort of push-to-talk, walkie-talkie kind of app on your phone, and I feel like they must have just made a mistake.
It wasn't like, was there articles too, or were they just hot links? Like
there weren't even links. It was just like a description.
Oh, wow. That's even worse. Yeah. They just kind of, obviously nobody paid for that. Obviously nobody paid to be in that list. That's not the Relay we're talking about today. Did you plan on going back to work part-time this soon?
Well, so my plan was, when I left my full-time gig, was to be a podcaster. Obviously, that needs to be built up a bit, right? So I needed to take on consulting work. So I'd planned to do that. And I was at AICP Engage, and I dropped by the Relay booth, said hi to Yusuf, and we just started talking, and he was like, let's work together. So that's how this whole thing came about. And it's a part-time role where half the time, well, I don't use timesheets. So this is the beauty of it. It's a part-time role. There's no specific time associated with it. Basically, I go out and I talk to the accounting community, talk about modern banking, talk about the benefits of Relay, and then I get feedback from folks who are using it, who might use it, and say, hey, Yusuf, Relay team, this is what you need to build. So it's something I enjoy, and hopefully I can add some value for everyone doing that.
I think so. And you're no stranger to webinars anyway. I see you got a few lined up, so.
Yes, they booked me solid every week.
Like this is you're back on the scene. This is your media circuit.
Blake, how many times when you go to conferences do you get people asking, hey Blake, let's work together?
Well, at least once per conference at this rate. Yeah.
You're like the hottest girl in high school.
Well, the girl that just broke up with her boyfriend.
Yeah, like everyone's swarming.
I definitely wasn't, so it's a nice feeling.
You weren't a girl in high school?
I wasn't, and I wasn't the hottest, so yeah.
You're a late bloomer.
A late bloomer. It took me till 38 to get to this point, but it was worth the wait.
Ooh, I turned 38 in a week or two. I don't know. Like I've always thought I was 38 already this year. It's like
I lose track.
Yeah. How old am I? I'll be 34 in January.
34. The future of banking. So I have a conversation yesterday about Relay, and I personally, we have Sons of CPAs account now that's on Relay, and but my business bank account is still Wells Fargo. And I said, I feel like it's more sturdy. I feel like I can trust it more.
You trust Wells Fargo more?
That's an oxymoron, though, right?
Did you hear about the fake account scandal?
I did.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm not creating a bunch of different accounts on mine. I don't really care that much. Like I don't mind Wells Fargo. I mean, I get it, but everybody's doing shit. Everybody gets caught for stuff.
Here's the difference between Relay and Wells Fargo. Relay lets you create as many checking accounts as you want. Wells Fargo opens them up without your consent.
That is true. That is true. But it's also a pain to move, right? Like
it is. Yeah, actually, and that's the biggest barrier right now to getting adoption of Relay in the accounting community. Nicole, you're nodding your head, right? And getting clients to change too, very difficult.
Yes, I feel like clients will stay on a bank for decades that they hate and they'll complain about it, but the perceived cost of moving is so high that they'll never do anything about it. So that's usually the biggest hurdle we have when trying to get clients to adopt Relay, is just getting them to actually move everything over and close that old account.
Well, yeah, like just me personally, I don't want to change all of that. I feel like it's just fine the way it is, and I'll just do everything new in there. And I think that the target market for something like this isn't the people that already are very well established. It's millennials. Like the Robinhood app, like anything else, Relay is just very easy for a millennial.
It's great if you're starting a new business. So yeah. I'm in a similar situation where when I started Earmark, which is my new entrepreneurial venture, I set up my operating account with B of A because I've been with B of A forever personally. And it was a nightmare to set it up, but I got it set up eventually. It took like 2 months during the pandemic because I couldn't go to a branch. They had to mail me a signature card. It was terrible. But I did get it set up. And then once I had, it's sort of like that IKEA syndrome where you built it, so now you're really attached to it. And so when I set up Relay, and I was like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. I've just, though, gradually been moving stuff over to Relay and switching the ACH and routing and all that stuff. So I may always have this as a backup account, the B of A one, but Relay is going to be the main operating one eventually. And I think that's actually because you want your money, you want to be able to have money in two banks. I think it's like backup, right? Like if something happens.
Oh, you don't even know. You don't even know. I have stocks of cash. I'm like a dragon. Like I just have stocks of cash in different places just to be safe, just to feel safe.
Buried in the ground in various places too, I'm sure. Yeah.
Well, not under the mattress. No, that's for sleeping. So.
But my favorite thing is so Earmark is a podcast production company and we're a CPE company. And so I've started some new shows with co-hosts. So I need a way to keep that money separate that I get from sponsors for those shows. So for instance, I'm doing one with Caleb Newquist and Greg Kite called Oh My Fraud. And we just got Oh My Fraud. It's a fraud podcast, a true crime podcast for accountants.
I've listened to the preview of that like 4 times already, just waiting for the first episode.
So we started recording and we've got a sponsor, I think, and they're going to send some money in. So I don't want that mixed up with my CPE company. I want that in its own account. So I spun up a new account in like 2 minutes on Relay. I named it Oh My Fraud so I can see it there. And I'm going to put all the money in there. I can give Greg and Caleb visibility by giving them read-only access so they can see all the transactions, look at the statements, do their own accounting if they want to.
Because I got co-hosts, other co-hosts. This is like a collective now, but the Sons of CPAs. And if we start getting sponsors on different special episodes, then I can just spin out different accounts.
So for businesses that need to be able to keep money in different accounts really easily and spin up new ones and new cards and all that, I mean, that's where the killer app is for Relay, is that kind of functionality. So
yeah, we have a client that fitness studio, and they've been opening up new locations in different cities. And so every time they open up a location, we just open up another, still under one entity, but we just open up another bank account. And then it's really easy for us. So then as the accountants set up tracking categories in Xero so they can see by location all their income and expenses.
That's awesome. And you can set the rules to categorize the transactions.
Oh, and the rules based on bank too.
Yeah, super easy.
Yeah, based on the account. That's great.
And
Yeah,
it's
and
a
you know,
deep integration with Zero. I don't know how it is with QuickBooks.
and I've never done this myself, but I know there's a ton of people who do profit first, or some variation of this philosophy where, when you get money that comes in, you segregate it into different accounts for profit and for taxes, and that way, as a business owner, like as business owners, they don't want to have to go into their accounting system to see how much money they have. So they're often just looking at that operating account, thinking, "Oh, I'm doing great," but really, a lot of that money's already
Spoken for.
Spoken for.
Yeah.
So they can set up the accounts and put the money in the different accounts and keep track of it the way they're used to, basically using buckets of money. And then we get all that data into the accounting system and do whatever we want. So they don't have to compromise. They can do it their way. We can do it our way.
Yeah, we have a client that was on like a credit union, and he had 8 accounts because he was using. Usually, when we get a client that has the profit first methodology, we're just like, oh God, no, we have 10 accounts we have to reconcile. But we had to move to Relay, so we're like, if you move to Relay, we'll let you do this. You can do as much as you want because it's easy.
Yeah, because you're not going to have to worry about downloading those statements into QBO or Zero or whatever, and it just works.
You got a new client, Millennial Nutritionist is the name of the business. So she's got contractors, different nutritionists that she pays. And the easiest way for us to set that up now was just do Relay. Pay them on Relay. Get
create
your
an
W-9.
account.
Yeah.
Oh, for the bill pay, or you
pay them? Yeah, bill pay. Yeah, not necessarily what you did with Greg and Caleb.
Well, I was thinking too, like if you worked with a small subset of contractors or co-hosts or whatever, you could even set up an account for them. And whenever you're doing a distribution of them, basically transfer the money into that account.
Yeah.
And in Relay, you can add them as like an admin on a specific account. And then they can go transfer the money out wherever they want. Like you could do
cool.
Right? Interesting stuff like that. Put it on them instead of you having to like do a bill pay, or I don't know. Like that's another way to do it.
As long as you get the W-9, and then Ackerman will have to prepare the W-9 1099s at the end of the year with his new 1099 partner. It all comes back full circle to Ackerman.
Yeah.
I just love using Relay. Like I enjoy the experience of it. Like it makes me happy. Whenever I have to, I have one client I still manage, and I tested out. He was the first client I tested out Relay on, and so I had him sign up for Relay Pro. And so every time he sends me a bill to pay, I get excited about it. So I'm like, oh, I get to go enter in Zero, and then I'm going to pull it over to Relay and assign him as the approver.
Yeah.
I think we know the pain of how hard it could be. So something effortless as this is exciting to us, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like we've been through some painful situations with clients. I'm sure we all have. And just, if things are set up so clean and smooth from the beginning, everything else is effortless down the road. It's like paying, spending the time in the beginning. We're starting to get to that edge of the change curve where things are starting to get easier and more consolidated a bit. I mean, I don't know. I mean, a bit of a ways to go.
I think you've got something there, Scott. Like we've been dealing with a lot of stuff in accounting and in this outsourced accounting world for so long. That's just so inconvenient. We forget how terrible it is and just live with it. And so the banking is a perfect example, right? I never had a bank that I could recommend to clients before. Like for years and years and years, they would ask me like, well, do I do the credit union thing? Do I do the big bank thing? And for years I would just say, go to Chase because it's the easiest one for me to get the login for. And they don't hassle me, right? But like that was the only reason.
We more or less Wells Fargo because it was the easiest to get the guest user access. And it had a direct feed for Zero. It was one of the first that had the Zero direct feed. Yeah. So that was...
And my problem was always I had clients who would just surprise me with new credit cards all the time. They would be signing up for new credit cards everywhere all the time. And to be able to just see that all in their Relay account now it'd be great. Because they needed the new cards for all their employees and all this stuff. So
yeah, you just see the bank transfer going to Amex. You're like, wait, you don't have an Amex account hooked up. What is this?
Yeah.
So Blake, do you know, is Relay planning on rolling out any sort of credit card where
rewards
businesses can get points or rewards?
I don't know the roadmap. I'm pretty new. I got to be honest with you guys. I just started this gig, so I got to get in on those meetings. I think it makes a lot of sense. And that's another barrier, right? Is that business owners like their rewards. So how do you get them to get rewards?
I think rewards is a savings account for me. Like I got a lot of rewards from different cards, and it's just like a savings account, and then you use it for travel or whatever. I mean, I know you're supposed to use it for business.
Yeah, the other barrier I'd say is lending.
I like
I want to use this opportunity. Scott. I'm going to hijack your show, and I want Nicole to tell me all the stuff that she wants in Relay, because then I can send this over to the Relay crew.
let's do it.
Yeah.
What's
What do
your
you want
wish
from
list?
Relay?
Yeah.
Nicole,
Credit
you got a
card with
wish list?
points. Credit card with points. I would love some sort of lending because that's another hurdle. If a client has a line of credit with a bank, they don't want to move over because they want to maintain that relationship. I would love for Zero just to buy Relay one day, so it's all integrated. Just log in. I can log into Zero. The bank feed and Zero are just one, and then I can
Right.
pay a bill straight out of Zero. That would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to have a little like cash forecast, and it was like an actually smart one where it takes AP, AR, and the recurring transactions. That would be amazing.
All within your Relay dashboard.
Yeah. I just want it to be like the anti-Intuit. Like, I just hope Relay doesn't sell to Intuit, and we can just have like this team
all
blue. Like basically, Relay changes their color to blue, and then we have this.
Oh, that would be heaven for
And
me.
then,
You know, I love my
Relay
blue.
like grows to be the opposite of Intuit, and it's just the other giant that just owns everything, and we just log into one platform and we do everything from there.
So QuickBooks already has QuickBooks Cash. They have their own bank account now. But one of the issues is that you can only transfer to a single external account from there. So like that, and that's something that they do, I guess, for security reasons, or I don't know why, but that was just one reason why somebody wanted to use Relay instead of that. Yeah. QuickBooks Cash.
Oh, I'd also like to see, I mean, if you start rolling out the credit cards, the company cards, right? For the employees, it'd be also nice if they could upload their receipts. So then you're getting into
the cards
cards, yeah.
And then we'd have to sync that back into the accounting system with the image. Yeah. But hey, I mean, that's doable.
If you're gonna dream big, right?
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
You can turn this into the Homer, the Homer car. I don't know if you remember that Simpsons where
the Homer car.
Yeah, you don't remember that one where he
no.
His brother, he found his long lost brother, and his brother owned like this successful car manufacturer, and he said, Homer, create a car, do whatever you want. You're the everyman, Homer. You're the everyman. And the car bankrupted his brother. His brother lost all of his money because it just cost way too much, and it was just everything imaginable that you would want in a car. It was kind of funny.
Definitely a toaster oven, I'm sure, beer fridge,
a toilet,
a
skylight. I don't know. It was interesting.
That's called a sunroof, Scott.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's why I stopped in the middle.
They already have those.
That's why I stopped in the middle. I'm pretty sure we have that now. Yeah. Don't know if it was flying, but yeah, one of the early ones. If you got Disney Plus, you can pretty much find it. That's like we got everything now. We got it good, don't we?
Except I have no time to watch any of that. That's the problem. I have all the entertainment in the world at my fingertips, and no time.
Twilight Zone. Like you've got all the books to read, all the time in the world, and you broke your spectacles.
It's like that, except I have the spectacles, but I don't have the time. So I need the apocalypse to come, but it needs to be an apocalypse that doesn't shut down my streaming.
Right. we want our cake and we want to eat it too.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know where I was going next because my head's on Microsoft.
Oh, Relay.
No, my head.
We started out talking about banking.
Yeah. No.
Right.
So I just distracted by this. It's
Dynamic.
Microsoft thing.
Are we talking about Microsoft Dynamics?
Yeah, Dynamics.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
I think I'm going to start using this platform, like pretty sophisticated. I don't know.
So,
have you heard of this?
So I used Dynamics CRM when I was at a large firm. I was not a huge fan of it, but I think a lot of it depends on the implementation.
Is this an accounting software?
Well, it does.
So Dynamics have accounting as part of it. They do. It's one of those suites that does everything.
And it's just a system that can keep up with all of that. Seems like this is an opportunity now too. It's like I'm gonna try and learn this. I have some.
You're gonna try to make your team learn it?
Yeah, why not? That's what we did with Zero.
Nicole is shaking her head.
Well, what would you say, Blake? What was your
learning Dynamics? Well, I mean, I would in an ideal world, have a separate team that did that versus the people who do QuickBooks and Xero,
Yes.
because it's a different beast. So get somebody who has experience in it, bring them onto the team, use them.
I think that's the
If you
answer
could.
to this. Well, it's probably just an opportunity for another segment of the business. I wanted to do that with FreshBooks too. Like, it's just, that's what Xero was. Xero was our growth springboard. When we went to that, it was the alternative. I'm sure you can relate to that too.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big competitive advantage. So people didn't want to use QuickBooks. They came to us because they wanted to use Xero, right?
That's
See,
right.
I don't know, where do you find these people that come to you that want to use Xero? Never, I mean, once in my entire 5 year that I've had
You know,
my
it's
firm, I've
it's
had
happening with
somebody
Gusto
come
now
on
too.
Xero.
It's actually happening with Gusto
So-
too.
Well, so when I started, I was the second bookkeeper on Xero, so they just fed me leads. So that I think early on it was easy. Now there's lots of people in that directory. You're not going to get so many.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
that
Everyone comes
is
to
true.
us on QuickBooks Desktop or QuickBooks Online.
That is
Yeah.
true. There was a handful of people that were basically the directory kings, and everybody would go to them. Selfishly, we were one of them, and it was great. But now there's a lot more people that are certified Xero, a lot more Xero accountants out there. So, it's like partnering with an app, right? Like, Nicole, I'm sure you got a few clients in a certain space that use a certain app. You partner with that app, and then get a deeper understanding of it. They would feed you clients.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to make a decision of, hey, I'm going to build out this service line, whether that be offering an ERP service, pick one ERP platform you want to be an expert in, or an industry that you want to be an expert in. But there's nothing wrong with trying it and seeing how it goes. But it's definitely a different skill set. I just remember when I was at my old firm before I left, it was literally any business that came to us on any software, they would just give it to us to do. Like, you're on Peachtree? Sure, here, Nicole, figure out Peachtree. You're on this legacy payroll? Here, yeah, we'll do it on that. And it was just a complete shit show because nobody knew how to use the software. So you're trying to figure out you're trying to learn the business and then work in some software you've never worked in before. So I would just think about team, and if that's something you want to build out is offering the services on that platform.
It gets me part anxiety and part excited just thinking about it, because I can never focus either. I always change my direction on things, but when I do focus on something and go 100, it tends to go well.
So just do the opposite of your natural inclination.
The
Do it, George
opposite of it?
Costanza. Yeah, do the opposite of it. Focus, Scott.
Focus.
This has been awesome. Thank you so much for inviting me on.
Yeah, I thank you for joining our Thanksgiving special.
I can't believe that you made me leave the family gathering on Thanksgiving to come up here and do this show.